Well, plotting points always works, but if we know more about functions, graphs can get easier. So we are going to review slope-intercept form of a line. And what that means is y equals mx plus b, which we've almost definitely heard of, but maybe have forgotten what that means. So here, the m, the number in front of x, is the slope. And sometimes we think of that as rise over run. You may have heard that, and we'll of course review what that means. And then b is the y-intercept. In other words, it's where we start on the y-axis. So if we know that, we don't have to just plot points like we did in the last video. We can use mx and b to get the graph a little easier. So let's review that. So in this problem, first thing we look for is this plus b. So that means the y-intercept is the point 0, -2. That's where we're going to start on the y-axis. So we start where y is -2. All right, so now the slope, 2/3. When it's positive, that means we're going up that number. If it were a negative fraction, that means we go down. Like in this one, that negative, I'm going to put it just with the top number. We always run, like if we're doing rise over run, we always run to the right. So from our starting point, I go up 2 blocks and then right 3. And then we just connect these with a line. Make sure you're using a straight edge, even if it's just the side of a notebook or the side of your phone, right? Make it look decent and extend your lines to the ends of the axes. But that is this line. We could also plot points, right? I could plug in 3 and it'd be 2/3 times 3. Well, we should get 0, right? If we do 3 divided by 3 is 1 times 2 minus 2, right? Like you can still plot points, but this using the slope and intercept should be an easier method. So let's see if it works for this next one. So the plus b here, this is where we're going to start. This is our y-intercept, is the point 0, 2. So we're going to start on the y-axis at +2 this time. And our slope, the number in front of x, is -1/3. That means we're going to go down this time because it's negative, but we always move to the right for the run. So the negative just makes it down. So down 1 block, right 3. And then we draw the line. Make it look nice, make it extend to the ends of the axes. Lovely. So this is the line that starts at 2 and has slope down 1/3. Okay, let's do one more. Ooh, -0.2. So that is not a fraction. Graphing lines is one of the few ones where fractions are actually a lot easier than decimals. So there are a couple options here. One is, we could go back to, I don't want to deal with this, let me plot some points, right? We can just try 0, maybe 10 or something. I picked 10 because I wanted to get rid of that decimal. Because -0.2, if we wrote it as a fraction, is -2/10. Now, you could reduce this fraction as well, but yeah, we better reduce it. It doesn't look like this has enough blocks for 10. So if I reduce that fraction, it's down 1/5. So down 1, and then over is always to the right. All right, let's make some axes using a straight edge so that we know where we're starting. Okay, so this case, the plus b is +1. So we're going to start where y is +1 on the y-axis. And then from there, we're going to go down 1 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our next point. All right, and then we just connect them with a graph. Connect them with a line, I should say. It's all graphing. So if you had plotted points, you would have gotten the same line. And it is, you know, negative 0.2 does mean down 0.2 over 1. It's just hard to gauge where 0.2 is. So it's a lot easier for slope to have fractions.